titles. Before I was a guy with all these different titles, you'll hear a little bit about my story. I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee. Born in Memphis, grew up in Minnesota. I unfortunately went through the summer of 2013. I survived with only $1.78. So this is back in the time, this was my living situation. The same month that I got fired from my decent paying job, was the same month I had to file Chapter 7 bankruptcy, was also the same month I got dumped. And I was living with my ex, and we had signed a lease, and I had to stay with her and live with her for 7 months as I'm still progressing my business, speaking around this country, and it was very, very humbling experience. And the day that I got dumped, the very next day, PBS had just picked up my story, and they were like, oh, we want to interview you to hear about all the great things you do. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm getting tested by the universe. And originally, I graduated high school in 2011 from Burnsville. I went to college in Iowa, I was a part of a wrestling team, national champion in wrestling, cross country. After suffering from my 9th concussion, I said, I'm done wrestling. I'm done trying to be this macho guy. I'm having all these headaches, these migraines. I have to start doing something different. After spending 1 year there, I transferred to school to Sierra Nevada College in Lake Tahoe. Any people know about Lake Tahoe? Beautiful area, but it's very inexpensive. It's very expensive. So I went out there and only survived a semester. School was $44,000 a year, and I got there and I just got transferred there for my scholarship. And I was like, all right, I like this place, I love it, but I can't afford it. And I met a guy out in Nevada. He said, hey, you come back to there, you should come back to Minnesota, stay with me. I said, great. I'll go visit family. And when I came back, I just thought I wanted to party. And basically, I was left homeless. I was like, well, no family's in Minnesota. I have nowhere to go. Like, it's winter. And I used Twitter. And someone saw my tweet, a family friend. He said, oh, Narish, my family loves you. Go stay in their basement. And that's basically how I got a place. I then went to St. Cloud State. And at 19 years old, I started my first company called Dow Enterprises. I created apps for iPhones. And I don't recommend this to anyone. I got my student refund check. Instead of buying my books, I hired a company overseas to create my app concept. So obviously I did not do well that year in that semester, but I had a dream, I had a passion, and I was going through that inner conversation. Is this what I want to do? Is school really the things that I want to do, or is this what my mother wants me to do? Because we're all taught, go to school, get good grades, and once we actually start to go down that path, we realize that path was never actually meant for us. So fast forward to today, I've been blessed to be a part of so many different opportunities. And so what we're going to go through today is the power of positive thinking. How can you transform yourself to ultimately manifest the life you want to live? So grab your shovel and start digging. What seeds are you planting? The last presenter we just saw, she handed out seeds, which is very, very what we are in our lives. We're all seeds. We're all plants. We're all doing things in our life that we want to ultimately grow. But if we don't know what we're planting, we don't know where we're headed, and we ultimately feel stuck. Has anyone felt stuck in their life? Raise your hand. It's natural. The feeling of being stuck is you really have an energetic conversation with yourself. You're like, all right, where am I going to go? What am I doing? I'm hitting rock bottom, or I'm just going to be stagnant in my own thing called life. So as you're planting the seeds in your life, you have to ask yourself this. Who are you? Where do you want to go? And who do you want to take along with you? So as a young kid, my biggest goal, coming from a single-parent household, was to retire my mother. My big passion is why I'm an entrepreneur is to create this lifestyle that I didn't necessarily grow up with. So if I'm going to create this lifestyle, I have to surround myself with like-minded people who live the life that I ultimately desire. I'm very grateful to be part of this team here. One Life, this is my first time ever being here. My first time being here, I'm also a presenter, which is really out of my mind because, again, I don't know a soul. I met Tim through social media, but the power of me planting the right seeds through the virtual world has manifested into something that's actually a physical reality for me. So what is positive thinking? Positive thinking is a mental and emotional attitude that focuses on the bright side of life and expects positive results. For everyone in this world, we all want the same things in life. We want to live a happy life, we want to have a happy home, we want to have clean eating, we want something that's going to benefit us. When I've mentored and interviewed so many people, I've never met someone that says, you know what, I want to go let me grow. I want to be homeless, I want to just have a dirty bed, I want to have a dirty household. I have not met that one person just yet, and I don't think I'm going to ever find that person. Because we all are striving for something that's going to make us feel value in our lives. We know that we all have the same destination in faith, which is death. But the road that takes us there and the road that we live in our life is what makes us so different, but also the same. We all have goals. We all have aspirations. But for us to feel that we're going to achieve our aspirations and goals, it starts with how you internally have a conversation with yourself to actually manifest the life that you want to live. Observe your thoughts. Our thoughts can be our best friends or our worst enemies. Who's ever had a self-negative conversation with themselves? Raise your hand. We have it all the time. And I've been guilty of it I've been guilty of it not so as recent, as yesterday. Because I come to this conference, I don't know a soul. I'm meeting people that I've never met before. Not everyone knows my story. And I have to, again, tell a story that I'm no longer living. I'm no longer a 19-year-old college kid, homeless, living couch to couch. But me re-experiencing those emotions, I realized, wow, I've had to come to a realization. I'm like, I've come a long way. And when we start to pat ourselves on the back, it's really hard because we at times don't feel that we're worthy enough even for the pat. So what does negative thinking do to us? Negative thinking will never make you live a positive life. Who's ever had a negative thought and then felt great about themselves afterwards? Yeah, it sounds asinine. And I say that because sometimes we have an inner conversation that no longer benefits us. Having our inner value of how we view ourselves will ultimately manifest how people will view you. The world views you how you view you. So when's the last time you've had an authentic conversation about how you feel about your weight, your income, the way you dress, the car that you drive? The list can go on and on. I've had 6 cars in the past 3 years. And I was driving hoopies to hoopies and hoopies until I was able to get into a car that was actually a decent car. And since I've had that decent car, I've gotten 3 speeding tickets. Let's just say I like driving fast cars. I don't recommend it to people. Slow down. Our negative bias have us focus on the frustrations that we experience. Bad traffic or disagreement with our loved one. And we ignored that many chases what we have to experience wonder, awe, and gratitude throughout the day. If we wake up, we stub our toe. We stub our toe, we'll spill coffee in our shirt, and that entire negative experience is going to ruin your entire day. It's happened to all of us. Many people dread going to work. Many people dread Wednesdays, they dread Mondays, they dread the people that they're their coworkers. And I'm here to tell that you have the choice to work that job. I'm 26 years old, but I've worked over 25 jobs. I've worked in corporate, I've worked as, I used to be in sales. So this last time, the last speaker, she's talking about sales. I used to be a debt collector. Who likes to answer a phone to a debt collector? Let me see you raise your hands. My point. That's why I never collect you guys' debt. So I used to be a debt collector, and I had to make a positive spin on collecting debt. And I would just answer I had an alias, my name was Matt Peterson. So this is hi, this is Matt Peterson. Give me a call from the office of J.C. Christensen's. I see that you're delinquent on your Kohl's account. Now, I totally understand. I've been broke back in the day. I'm 19 years old, trying to play like I'm not broke already. And I have to play it off and just really give people that, the empathetic approach and compassion because, finances sometimes is hard. Sometimes life hits us hard. And you shouldn't be beat up if you're unable to pay your bills. So many debt collectors around me, they were like, oh, you have to be more stern, you have to blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no. And I came with a more empathetic and more compassionate approach, and I was able to collect a lot of debt, successfully hit my goal of debt. And one thing I learned from that perspective is that I was a college kid who had to leave school to try to get back into school. I was sitting next to one of my coworkers, and she had a master's degree, getting paid the same amount of money as I was, plus commission, which was $10 an hour plus commission. And I was like, wait, you have the degree that I want to go after, and you're sitting right next to me. And I realized it's not a time the degree that you have, it's who you are internally and the conversation that you're going to expel externally. And so when I was sitting next to her, I was like, you know what? I know there's more than just collecting debt. My environment around was telling me, oh, you can't be a speaker. I used to stutter a lot. I've had 9 concussions. So I've had to go to class, go to coaching, and learn how to, again, be a presenter. And when I started to really stop listening to the negative people around me, I started to have more of a self-talk that was more positive, but also getting myself out of that position. And I say that to you because sometimes we're around environments that does not resemble who we are. I used to be a big partier, college to college, big parties and all that fun stuff. But every time I went to a party, people was always expecting me to show up. But they never noticed when I left. And I had a really sobering conversation with myself, saying, why did I even show up? Everyone wants you to show up to be the life of the party, but they never know when the life of the party actually leaves. And sometimes in our lives, we are the life of our party. But do they actually care about you enough to actually help you get to the next level? Does your circle excel you, or do they descend you? Managing positive affirmations. You have to live your life like a golden retriever. Who's ever seen an unhappy golden retriever? Doesn't happen often, right? You pet a dog, dogs are the happiest, most cheerful things in the world. But if you come around a dog and you have negative intentions, and you have negative energy, dogs can read that. Dogs are very empathetic. They're empaths. So how do we manage our positive affirmations? During the day, stop and evaluate what you're thinking. If you find that your thoughts are mainly negative, try to find a way to put a positive spin on them. So one of the things I always feel, sometimes I'm negative, like today, I had a bunch of suits I was going to put on today. I was like, which bow tie am I going to wear? Did I brush my hair the right way? Did I put my cocoa butter on? Am I going to listen and shine when I'm in front of everyone? And I started to talk, and I was like, wait, this is sounding more negative than it actually sounded positive. Then my partner was like, you know, you look good. I was like, oh, you're right. I was saying that earlier, but you know, I was going back and forth. Self-affirmations have been shown to decrease our health and our stress. So when we're having a negative conversation, and I really realized this after years of suppressed emotion. I'm an ex-wrestler, I'm very aggressive. But you know, when you get in a relationship with a partner, you have to be vulnerable. You have to talk about your emotions. You have to talk about finances. And all the things that I didn't necessarily grow up with because I didn't see it in the household. So when I started getting in a relationship, we were talking about bills and all the other stuff, I used to suppress those emotions until I got called out. When you get called out, sometimes it feels like someone's attacking you. But when the truth is being hits your ears, it feels like an attack. But you have to have a sober heart to actually understand that the person that may be saying something to you is really saying it because they care about you. And so I say all that because I had to grow up. I'm 26, I want to have kids, I want to get married, but for me to actually do that, I have to be a person who's married. Everyone that wants to be in a relationship, you have to be the person that you want to be in a relationship and you seek in that relationship. So if you're asking someone to do something, or you expect your expectations, you also have to be the person that lives up to theirs as well. That self-affirmation is what we can learn to actually develop if we actually are willing to actually do the hard work. Now, everyone in this room has insecurities. Our perceptions of our insecurities limit us. I can come up here and tell you all these different things about all things that I've overcome, but it's not about me. I'm just using my story so you guys can learn and develop and understand your story. Because everyone in this room has a story. I used to be the guy who used to sit in the back of the room until I learned how to have to sit in the front of the room, and now I'm actually the presenter in the room. And it's sobering to say because, again, when I was a kid, I was a troublemaker. I got suspended over 15 times growing up. Again, my mom almost told me I was going to go to jail like my cousins and all these other negative experiences. So I didn't really ever hear positive things from my mom until recently as she started to, give me the pat on the back and said, I'm proud of you. And for all the things that I've done, I'm like, it took 26 years. And it's sad to hear that, but it's like it took me this long to feel that, my mother now appreciates me. And again, that's a self-conversation I've had to learn how to tell to others because sometimes the best thing that we want to hear from our parents is that they appreciate us, that we love them, that they love us, and that we are something of value to them. Because, again, my biggest goal is to tie my family. I don't know what everyone else's goals in this room, but the goal that you're looking to, accomplish, you want your loved ones to actually give you, the pat on the back, like, oh, we're supporting you. And, I left school, and I've been blessed to be the person I'm invited to speak in front of the kids, but when I left school and I told my mom, she was not happy. I put myself in $44,000 in debt for school, and she was like, see, I told you so. And I'm like, I'm not going to hear it. I'm just telling you, this is the life this is the reality I'm living, and this is what I'm going to overcome. And the affirmations that you talk to yourself, affirmations can boost your self-esteem. They can eliminate your negative thinking. And the negative thinking that you have is all, again, maybe your environment, it may be your self-doubt, it may be not the books you read. I had a mentor at a really early age, 19 years old, and I decided to join the Chambers of Commerce. And one of the books she gave me, she said, in the book it said, do what professionals do, wear what professionals wear, and go where professionals go. Everyone in this room is now in a room and they're in an environment where professionals are currently at. And for you to get into the life that you want to aspire to be in, it just simply starts with having a conversation with yourself and being brave enough to have that with another person. Approve affirmations. How to rewrite your life. First, you have to start with the I am. I am great. I am powerful. I am beautiful. The I ams that you tell yourself will help you become the person that you desire to be. I used to be very insecure. I was a wrestler. So we had body issues. I had to cut weight. Even though I didn't feel fat, if I didn't make weight, I felt fat. I was a wrestler from 7th grade to my freshman year in college, and my wrestling weight when I first started was at 85 pounds. And then the next year I was at 103. And the next year I was 112. 120